Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. For those of you not in the know, we're a show about podcasts, featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who help podcasters with their podcasting. On every episode of the show, a few of the folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 show submissions we've gotten from podcasters. Why? So that we can find something we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second podcast clip. Then they'll need to pick the correct podcast title from a lineup of 3 choices. Before we get the show on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for today, starting with Oliver.
If you're watching this, you'll see that there's a beam of sunlight illuminating my pink face. Hi.
Next, we have Max.
Kyle.
We've got Jesse.
Woohoo!
And Kristy.
Let's go!
The noise gate came in halfway through that, so it sounds like you just fell into like a Looney Tunes hole in the ground at some point. But we are also joined by Alyssa, who has a fun little announcement for us.
Okay, I had to check that I wasn't on mute. But hi, everybody. I do have a fun little announcement for you all. So here it goes. Headliner helps podcasts grow their audience by providing tools to create and promote their content on social media. With our Make Plus Eddy Flow, you can easily create social media content while optimizing your podcast. Eddy's podcast promo pack offers 4 AI-generated episode art options featuring your brand colors and now includes copy options for social media. You can also use Make to create podcast clips like you always have, perfect for promoting your podcast on social media. By mixing and matching clips, leftover episode art, or copy options, you can streamline your podcast promotion process. To access these features and more, visit make.headliner.app and try clicking transcribe.
Neat. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with our first clip for today. And I'm going to pick, you know what? Let's go in the order I named everyone, starting with Oliver.
My eyes are closed.
Awesome.
Sweet. Keep them closed.
Really is about strategy. And in that, there's personal power. If we can actually feel like we have gotten what really, really matters, there's personal power. The more that we are engaged in the court system, the more that we lose our footing, the more harm it is to us psychologically and to our children. Some of you can't let go. Some of you, there's too much at stake. I get it. Absolutely, I get it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the people who don't have as much at stake. I'm talking about finding the peace, knowing that they're going to continually weaponize the court system against you, and finding the peace that you can by walking away from as much as you can, letting go of the rope, strategizing, staying 2 steps ahead of them.
Okay. So, getting things off with a bit of a serious clip, and definitely something that's coming across as very well-spoken and informed. So, Oliver, here are your 3 options for this clip to help you pick a name. Number 1 is Help and Reform. Number 2, Perfect Prey Podcast. And number 3, Navigating the Aftermath with Dr. Kristy.
Oh. Okay. I really want to know what the podcast is about from that clip. It could be so many different things. I know it's something serious, but I don't know what that serious thing is. So, based on the fact that it's taking place in a courtroom, I'm going to throw out the one number 2 that was something about praying.
Perfect Prey Podcast.
Perfect Prey Podcast.
Which, for the record, it's Prey, not Pray.
Well, that's good to know. I still want to take that one out.
Okay.
Let's remove that one. Now, Dr. Kristy is almost so hard to believe that it might be the right one. Because as you all know, we have a Kristy on this very podcast.
We do. Yeah.
It's Dr. It's Dr. Kristy, Oliver.
So, like, what kind of a doctor are you if you're a doctor, Kristy? Just for my sake.
Oh man,
I'm in the market, you know.
It'd be a Green Thumb, Dr. Green Thumb.
Okay. Duly noted. So,
Okay, I know what I'm going to go with. I believe I'm falling into a reverse bear trap, but I'm going to go with option 3.
navigating the aftermath with Dr. Kristy.
Yep.
That is unfortunately incorrect. I'm sorry, Oliver. It was actually Perfect Prey Podcast.
Was.
Yeah. Sorry, the doctor let you down. He has a green thumb, but not much else. So let's find out what this podcast was about by reading its description. Dr. Christine Cocchiola, DSW, LCSW, is a coercive control educator, researcher, survivor, and protective parent. With 20 years of experience in social work education, she focuses on coercive control and the trauma experienced by adult and child victims. Dr. Cocchiola provides coaching and support to help victims navigate parenting in the aftermath of harm. She's developed educational programs for protective parents and their allies and actively advocates for the recognition of coercive control. So there you have it. It's a very serious subject, but it sounds like we've gotten someone with some pretty good accolades talking about it, and it looks like a well-informed show. Moving on to our second clip for the day. Unless anyone has any comments about this one, we have Max.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I have some friends who've been there, done that, and I just feel like I'm nowhere near like the kind of profile that they are. I think trial and error was just like, okay, today there is a rat. What can we do about it? Okay, today the guy is sticking everywhere, and especially because compost, like, you have the element of smell, you have the element of leachate, you have, so it's not something that you can really avoid. At some point, you just really have to take care of it. So I think a lot of my trial and error was just because I had to, just to stay mindful of my roommates, like out of respect for them.
Okay. So, Max, your 3 options for today are Lifeline, stories of change makers for the SDGs. I Speak for the Trees. And number 3, Embracing the Stink, learning to compost abroad.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not
Good
going easy on
options.
you. You got a little too comfortable past few weeks.
I mean, it feels like a no contest between the first one. Let's see how hilariously wrong I might be, but I'm just going to go with number 1.
Okay. Lifeline, stories of change makers for the SDGs is... Are you sure you don't want to switch? Because this might get really embarrassing for you. Just...
I'm ready. I'm ready
Yeah,
for
it's
the
correct.
Whoa.
Correct?
There was no way I was going to talk you out of that, was there?
You know, when you throw SDGs in there, I was like, there's no way one of the fake titles has SDG. But that's a good note for the next round.
Yeah.
If you throw some technical acronym in like that, I will probably think that's the right one.
Let's make a note of that, Alyssa. Let's just, the next time something like that crops up, put SDGs after all of them.
I'm blanking on what SDGs are. Once knew what this stood for. Sustainable. I don't remember, but
I think it's like
something
sustainable
durable
something
goods.
growth or goods, maybe. Yeah.
Growth. I don't know, but yeah, I like the topic. Obviously,
Yeah.
Composting, sustainability, good stuff. And I'm detecting maybe a French accent. I don't know. Can we get our accent detector to verify that? That would be my guess.
I didn't look it up, so I'm a bad
Oh, yeah,
Producer.
you're probably busy with other stuff.
No, that's
yeah,
okay.
very busy over here producing and stuff. Yes,
Priority 1 is not figuring out every accent in every
I know.
clip.
I know. My gift is, I don't think it's French though. I will say that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was French either.
I think I have a guess, but I'm not confident in it. But I think it says it actually weirdly on the episode art. But anyways, continue.
Okay, so let's learn a little bit about this podcast by reading its description, and then maybe we'll find out where it happened, or where the person's from. Meet changemakers from all around the world and get your weekly dose of inspiration to take action. We're having deep and authentic conversations with social entrepreneurs, activists, leaders, intrapreneurs, and unsung heroes to understand what shaped who they are today. Lifeline is a podcast made to amplify the voices of those who work hard to make a difference. We believe they have a strong message that deserves to be shared with the world. Get bonus content on Patreon, hosted on Acast. So, the answer to your question, Max, was all around the world.
It's a global phenomenon. We're in this together. Let's all do some composting later.
Yeah, exactly. And it has a nice
Cacao.
little... You just had to add the cacao, y'all, parentheses at the end.
It works in all contexts. It just adds any statement you're making, throw a cacao on it,
Yeah.
and it amplifies it. Little trick, little podcasting tip for all the listeners out there.
You can make that your email sign off, your signature at the end, cacao, y'all. Or like, it's sort of like the Cowboy Bebop, the Sea of Space Cowboy, So anyway.
Cacao podcast, cowboys and cowgirls.
Yeah. But no, it's an interesting premise for a show. It's about a good thing, composting. We all can probably stand to do a bit of that. And I like the artwork on the audiogram itself. It was good and it was clean. So, interesting show.
Here composts.
What's that?
Does anyone here compost? I know Nat.
don't. I keep meaning to start.
I do. It
I
rules.
think it's illegal in New York. Like, I don't know if you can just throw your food in the plant in the city. Like, can you just throw your banana peels into the bushes? Maybe.
Don't you
but-
compost like like you have a little thing out your window you compost in or something, right?
In
I do
Brooklyn,
not.
at least, they have a composting program where they come and collect it, and I think it's just used to incinerate. So I don't actually think they compost. I think they use it to run an incinerator. That's what the food co-op people told me, anyways.
Oh,
We have a composter, and so we do is we put all of our extra stuff in there, and it basically turns it into dirt, and so we put it into our garden. So it you could use it for that kind of stuff because it's just really, really good for making dirt good again. But that's about it.
interesting.
We compost horse crap and eggshells and coffee grinds together, and it makes amazing corn fertilizer. Fun fact for you.
Make dirt good.
Yep.
You learn a lot. And yeah, as Jesse repeated, make dirt good. That might actually be my new favorite phrase.
I like that.
Yeah. It has a nice ring to it.
Do you like it more than cacao?
I might.
Jesus.
Look, next, I have a low barrier to entry. Anyway, let's move on. Coming up next, we have Jesse for our third clip.
All right.
Comes to drugs, Denmark has a conflicting approach. Getting illegal drugs doesn't seem to be too difficult, but getting legal drugs can be. Hashish, which is illegal in Denmark, was until recently very easy to procure at Pusher Street in the so-called Free State of Christiania. Christiania is one of the tourist attractions of Copenhagen. This old military base, which was taken over by hippies during the 1970s, is a unique place with dirt roads and ramshackle wooden buildings put together with odds and ends, and some gorgeous wild nature, which is surprising to find in the middle of a European capital city. Pusher Street was a row of wooden booths where, until recently, buyers could choose from a wide selection of hashish being sold openly.
Okay. There we have it. That was our third clip. And here are your options, Jesse.
All right.
Number one, how to live in Denmark. Number two, more than windmills, wine, and weed. A deep dive into Denmark. Or number three, Denmark's dark side.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaning toward number 3 here. My hashish meter is it's definitely pointing me.
It's glowing a little red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be green? But okay, never mind. Yeah, moving on.
So I think I'm going to lock in number 3 there.
Denmark's dark side. Okay. That is incorrect. I'm so sorry, Jesse.
It's all right. It's all right.
The correct answer was actually How to Live in Denmark.
Ah,
So-
I mean, that is good advice. I mean, I can't imagine Denmark's that bad. It is like, hey, if you want to live here, get some hashish.
Yeah, just so you know, it is illegal there. So good title for a podcast.
I do know a bit about Christiania. I believe that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's no police force there, by the way.
Really?
So it's probably not illegal in Christiania.
Okay.
Got it.
Good
It's like
to know.
an anarchist zone.
You
Like to
step
visit one
through
day.
it and the purge starts like the movie.
They're right there
Oh, I
waiting
think
for you at the
it's-
border.
It's like a case study, and when you remove all the laws, it's like, oh, it's going to be chaos. It's like, nope, just a bunch of people smoking hashish and chilling out, listening to music, composting probably.
The only real complaint is that they're composting a bit too much, and then there's one too many drum circles. Sure, I get it. I'm
It
hip
just
with
smells a little bad over there, you know? They're peaceful.
Anyway, let's learn a little bit about how to live in Denmark, which I'd like to add my personal parenthesis to the title is step 1, get a visa. But that's just me being me. All right, let's learn about this show. Life as an international in Denmark, one of the world's most homogenous countries, isn't always easy. In Denmark's longest running English language podcast, Kay Xander Mellish, an American who has lived in Denmark for more than a decade, offers tips for enjoying your time in the world's happiest country, plus insights on Danish culture and how to build friendships with Danes. So, pretty interesting. I didn't know that Denmark was considered the world's happiest country, so consider like my interest peaked, you know?
It checks out.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know that much about Denmark, to be honest. So, jumping into our fourth clip, we have Kristy at bat now.
Hold on, let me get my little thing.
Okay. I thought you were pulling a real bat out.
No.
Be impressed for a second. The winged animal, by the way, not the baseball.
So you said with Mutants in the Mix, that's one of your upcoming projects that you have coming, that you're going to have a lot more like breeds of dogs and like a lot more of the pet animals, right? So would you say that you're like some of the things that you're changing with your animal tables and everything would be coming into Mutants in the Mix as well? Because I can see there being like a whole section almost on just what a pet animal's existence was like before turning, and like what their relationship to their owners was like. Yeah. Are they trying to fight ninjas because their owner was kidnapped by the Foot or what? Like
on the wild, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of possibilities to me that I feel like could be explored.
Yeah, no, it's and to clarify, that means in the archive. That's from the archive.
Yeah,
means from the archive that's going to have that. Using the Mix is going to be the system hacking resource.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely lets me sit down, and I have on my outline.
Okay. So here are your choices, Kristy. Number 1, Mutant Munity. Number 2, Epic Tales from the Sewers. And number 3, Below NYC, a TMNT tale that's spelled TAIL. P.S. Yes, turtles have tails.
Is the PS yes, Turtles Have Tails part of it?
That's a part of the title.
I know that it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle podcast because they mentioned the foot and like they're talking about like animals, you know, turning into mutants or whatever.
Sure.
So the third one is really long, but you've been pretty good at like screwing me over. So I'm gonna go. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with that third one, the really long one.
Okay.
I'm gonna lock that in.
You're gonna lock that in. Below NYC, a TMNT tale. P.S. Yes, tails. Turtles have tails, not tails have turtles.
Yes.
Okay, that is incorrect. It's actually Epic Tales, TALES from the Sewers. Just specifying that. Yeah. So sorry, Kristy.
You got me again.
It could have been harder. Actually, it might have been easier if I made these titles because I would have actually made more Ninja Turtle references, which might have either given it away or not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, you know, anyway,
I'm plotting my revenge now.
Yeah. One of these days, I feel like you guys have to all be the host, and I have to just field 6 questions in a row.
Yeah.
It'll be like my
that's
own
good.
personal Saw movie, to be honest. So, okay. Learn about this Ninja Turtles podcast. An exciting and in-depth look into the world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with comics, movies, animation, video games, and toys. That's it. That's the description. Short, sweet, and to the point. So, pretty cool podcast. I'm not much of a Ninja Turtles person, but I can respect it. It's definitely a complicated enough subject to need one because there's so much. There's a lot to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, now that everyone's gone, we get to do our favorite part where we break up into teams and we can do 2 more questions. I don't know how we'll break up the teams, but I'm leaning towards putting Max and Oliver on a team and Kristy and Jesse on a team.
Let's go.
Okay, good. There doesn't seem to be any blood vendettas in these teams I've put up already. Okay, perfect. So, going first, we have Max and Oliver.
I've heard that as well from one of I think from LinkedIn, from one of my network there. So from one of my friends there. So it's I think it's eye contact powered by AI. So it's a tool for broadcasting. So it made by NVIDIA broadcast. Maybe if you're if you haven't tried that, probably you could check that out. But again, it's really like what Kerry said. It's really about practicing, honing those skills over and over again, and of course finding the right mentor, finding the coach to really help you gain that confidence in front of the camera. And speaking of being a mentor, Kerry, I know you are using. You are doing some programs as well, right?
Okay. There's your clip. Firing off the titles real quick. Number 1, The Design of Life Show. Number 2, Inside AI. Or number 3, Cracking the Code, Navigating the Job Search.
Seems like a hard one.
Yeah, this isn't that easy.
What are you thinking, Oliver?
I was hoping you had something. I don't know.
I could give you guys, I could make it even harder by giving you a 4th option based off of a mispronunciation I almost did.
Yes.
Inside Al.
Love that.
Because the capital I looks like an L.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Well, what was the first one?
The Design of Life Show.
The Design of Life Show.
Certainly something about AI in there, but I couldn't tell if it was making an app or you used an app or they used an app.
But then he was talking about coaching and stuff too. So was the AI just to become better at making a video?
For the last one that was about life coaching or something like that. What was the last option?
Cracking the Code, Navigating the Job Search.
Job search. There's AI in there too.
Unless they're telling you to use AI to make sure you look really good in interviews on a video call using some eye tracking thing.
He was talking about NVIDIA, so you might not be wrong.
Really? I didn't hear NVIDIA in there.
Wild.
He mentioned NVIDIA, and they do have an eye tracking webcam thing.
We know that if Nicholas is pushing us towards this one, it's certainly wrong.
I mean, you don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
We might.
Yeah,
we might.
After 72 acts of trickery,
Yep.
This is the time you're trying to help us? I don't know.
I had a change of heart.
It's the Boy Craig podcast.
Yeah. The boy
Yeah, this
who
is a
cried
hard one.
AI.
Who cried Al. What was that Paul Simon song about
Yeah,
Al?
you could call me Al.
Call me Al. So can we rewrite that with AI and you can call me AI?
We can certainly
That's
try
fine.
to.
That's actually funny you mentioned
Just
that.
stalling. I don't know what to do.
Today.
I wouldn't dissuade you from the AI one, though, because all of them kind of imply AI, right?
Yeah, that's why it's so hard. They
Yeah.
they all seem like they speak about the subject pretty well.
Yeah. AI is everywhere.
Maybe.
Is it in the room with us right now, Max?
Oh, it's here. So is Al. Oliver, let's just do a Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. Let's just go with Inside the Actors Studio or whatever it was.
I think it's the third one.
Was that you mean cracking the code navigating the job search or Inside Al?
Mm. What was the first one again?
The Design of Life show.
I don't think it's design. I think it's either Inside AI or the job search one.
Let's go for the second one.
Yeah, Inside AI.
Okay. So that is incorrect. It was actually Inside Out. No, I'm kidding. The Design of Life show is the correct answer.
Well, that's official this week. Everyone I get, I just immediately like throw that one out, and it's the right one.
Well, you know. So let's find out a bit about this show so we can learn why it's called that. The Design of Life show is a podcast that helps everyone grow to live a meaningful and creative life. Filipino designer Kristy Teves, best known for being an advocate of essentialism and optimism, sits down with awesome people to talk about their journey, their process, and the lessons they've learned along the way. So you guys were kind of right in the sense that it is like a coaching sort of podcast, and that, you know, AI worked into that because it's 2023. Interesting stuff.
You're kind of right.
If we'd heard that description, Max, we would have gotten it without, right?
Yeah, if I just crossed out the title at the beginning.
Yeah, I might have needed to see the cover art and listen to a couple episodes before I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
And I would need to see the title as well.
Just in case you actually need him saying it to you on a phone call, just confirm it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten it. That podcast seems up my alley. I might check it out, actually.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good. And you know what? I'm a sucker for a good Filipino accent because I'm half Filipino. So I was like sold from the beginning of the clip. So there you go.
Nice.
Moving on to our final clip of the day, Jesse and Kristy. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Might play 500 points, 300, I don't know, but it's a lot. So every single one is going to end with someone losing. It's impossible for both to win. So there's a lot of chances to beat yourself up. And so I have a lot of groups that have to stop, and I always tell them, listen, that was not your fault. You were in the right place at the right time, and they were better than you. They hit a great shot. And I'll tell people, stop trying to figure out what you did wrong and just look over there and tell that person how great they are. Great shot. That was amazing. Really good. Whatever positive words you want to give to them. And then you're finished. There is no fixing of that because there was nothing you did wrong. Hey, you guys played better than us that time. That's the idea. And move on. You don't have to find a blame for you or your partner every single point. That's crazy.
All right. Awesome. Some deep stuff happening there. Here are your titles. Number 1, Pickleball World with Scott Fix. Number 2, Order on the Courts with Scott Fix. Number 3, How to Take the L. Just Get Over with Scott Fix.
Are there any that are like total no's for you? For me, that's like number 3.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, I'm kind of leaning toward number 1 and number 2 because they said it's pickleball and then they said courts and they were talking about scoring points. So we know it's some kind of sport. And they also said partner.
Yeah.
And so
I think it's pickleball.
It's a 2-person thing. So I think pickleball is a really strong option. I don't know much about pickleball other than it's pretty much like you talk about it the same as tennis. You got to
it's indoor tennis.
Is it can pickleball be as a team?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You leaning toward number 1 or number 2?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards number 1.
All right, I'm good with that. I think.
All right, we're locking in. Let's go.
Okay. Number 1, Pickleball World with Scott Fix is incorrect. You guys should have picked the third one because then you'd be wrong, but you would also learn how to take the L.
Oh,
yeah. How about
man.
That? Spurn.
No way you set up that fake answer just to burn us at the end with it.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't write
that's so
these.
screwed up, man.
Because that's pretty
so
good.
Yeah. Narratively, that was like pinpoint accuracy.
It was a Chekhov's gun if ever I've heard one. Anyway, the correct title is Order on the Courts with Scott Fix. On being in caps. So
incredible.
Here's a little bit about this podcast. Career tennis and pickleball coach Scott Fix discusses various topics in the tennis, pickleball, coaching, and business world, along with other life lessons and current events. I've made a career out of making stuff up. This podcast might have something for players and coaches looking for new ideas. It could also be an incredible waste of time that you'll never get back. I really related to when he said that he's made a career out of making stuff up and that he might be wasting our time. That just spoke to me a lot. I actually kind of want that to be the name of my memoir someday.
Well, we were right on the money, Kristy. Right on the money.
Man. I'm glad, man. Shoot and miss, but we're getting closer.
Yep. Talk about
this
learning
was a
to
no-hitter?
take the L.
Yeah. I don't think a single one got it right.
One right.
Yeah, Max got his right.
Oh, nice, Max.
Oh man.
Right. Coming back.
Max's big week.
Max was the champion this week.
Everything's looking up Millhouse.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember. Yeah, but you guys have learned how to take the L, and now I'm shooting back to the top. I've taken the L every week and learned my lesson. So,
I love that Max has won for like the first time, and he has an acceptance speech prepared. Like this, this is like borderline Oscar level. I love it.
I'd like to announce my retirement from the game. I'm going to retire at the top. I will be undefeated because this was the only episode that counted. No takey backsies.
Well, there you have it. He's quitting while he's on top, and nobody will ever hear from him again until next week. Probably.
Perfect.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. The next time they hear from us. So no one actually will hear from him next week.
Okay.
He'll be too busy gloating about it at the dinner table. Anyway.
Yeah, I got something to talk about on Thanksgiving now. All my family members, how great I did.
You walk into I'm the Greatest by Ringo Starr.
Yes.
So here we go. This is the end of the episode. I hope everyone listening enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with another one, and we'll see if Max can hold on to his title or not. Bye-bye.
I'll be training.
Bye, everybody.